The March 26th meeting of Town Township Board of Commissioners. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing at the end of the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
I'd like to ask that we have a moment of silence for Tom Flock, who left us last week very unexpectedly. He was a great member of our community when a longtime member of Old Town Historical Society, train man to the Westchester Railroad, volunteer at the Railroad Museum of PA, dedicated poll worker, an antique clock aficionado. If you'll look back there on that wall, that clock he gave us on loan. The beautiful display that was out in the lobby, the train display, was Tom Flock. The memorial for Lincoln Highway that is waiting to be placed on Lincoln Highway is Tom Flock. He will be missed. And if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. Okay. We will open up with citizens to be heard. And a reminder, this is only for agenda items. Anyone online? Moving on, we will go over to Kristen Camp, the solicitor.
Thank you. The first is an ordinance that we advertised to amend Chapter 33 of the Town Township Code, which is titled Fire and Emergency Services. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs from the memo that Ray sent to you explaining the purpose of the ordinance. It provides a plain language summary of the proposed ordinance that repeals and replaces Chapter 33 titled Fire and Emergency Services. It's intended to modernize, clarify, and formalize how fire, emergency medical, and emergency management services are organized, funded, and overseen within the township. It establishes a comprehensive framework for delivering fire and emergency services township-wide through the Department of Building and Life Safety and the Emergency Services Division, while continuing to rely on contracted fire and emergency medical service providers as partners. So Ray drafted this. I just made sure it was in the right format. I advertised it for tonight's hearing in the Daily Local on March 18th, and I sent a copy of the ordinance for public inspection to the Law Library and Daily Local on March 3rd. So it is ready for you to consider and adopt.
Thank you, Kristen. Now, we went in detail at our first meeting of the month, but I'll ask if any of the commissioners have any thoughts on it beyond what we've discussed. I'll ask everyone in the audience here. And I'll ask those online. All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-05, amending chapter 33 of the Town Township Fire and Emergency Services.
Second.
Moved by Adam Thomas, seconded by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Next up.
Thank you. The next is a consideration of a motion to approve the minor subdivision plan application filed by John and Ruth McLucas for the property at 4103 Edges Mill Road. I prepared a draft resolution. The applicants own an 11.5 acre parcel at 4103 Edges Mill Road. It is currently improved with a single family detached dwelling and driveway. It's located in the R1 residential district, serviced by on-site water and on-site sewer. The applicants want to subdivide the property into two different lots. The plan was prepared by JMR Engineering. It was dated July 21, 2025, last revised February 27th, 2026. Lot 1 will have 10.18 gross acres. Lot 2 will have 1.33 acres. There will be they will share a common driveway, and there's no land development proposed at this time. They did seek 3 waivers. The first is from 137-5 to permit a flag lot for a subdivision of less than 5 lots. The second waiver is 137-42A to not require curbing along the shared driveway. The shared driveway already exists, and along the frontage of Edges Mill Road. And then the third waiver is section 137-43B, again, this time to not require sidewalks along the shared driveway, again, that already exists, and along Edges Mill Road. At the March 17th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission did recommend the board grant the approval of the plan as well as the 3 waivers. The one condition was that the applicant satisfy any outstanding conditions in the Township Engineer's review letter of March 10th, 2026. The proposed resolution would grant the plan approval, would grant the 3 waivers, and all of the other conditions pretty much are boilerplate except for condition 5, which is they have to provide an access easement agreement for the shared driveway. So happy to answer any questions. Mr. McLucas is here with his engineer, Matt Bush from JMR Engineering. Pretty straightforward plan.
Thanks, Kristen. I was at the planning commission meetings, so I don't have any further questions. Anyone here?
Say read all the conditions. I'm in agreement.
I was at the planning commission meeting as well, but I just want it, not on record, but verbalized. Safety conditions for pedestrians along Edges Mill, not conducive to a sidewalk. So that is why we were not, or the planning commission was not seeking one. And that would be opinion of staff and the chief. Now I'm going to put him on the spot.
And Adam, with that, because I wasn't at the planning commission, I wouldn't mind then revising the motion just to make that point clear, because I know it is typically the policy of the board to want sidewalks. And I think it's helpful for this to be, put into writing so that if a future person were to look at this application and this motion, they would understand that in this case, there was extenuating circumstances that led to the board, assuming you grant the waiver. So with your permission, if this is going to go forward, I would just modify and put some explanation as to why the board supported that waiver.
Excellent.
The historic district, so it
Yeah.
would have to be in keeping with historic sidewalk.
Yeah. Anyone else in the room have any thoughts or comments? Anyone online? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve a motion of the Board of Commissioners minor subdivision plan application for 4103 Edges Mill Road, with a note that we're waiving sidewalks due to safety conditions on Edges Mill Road. I have a motion
So moved.
Second.
moved by Adam Thomas, second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
That's all I have, Mr. Vice President. So with that, I think unless you need me for anything else, Don? All right, have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
And reminder, the Sheets conditional use hearing is continued until Monday evening.
Yeah.
6:30 PM, did we say 6:30 PM? So everybody remember that, and we'll remind Paul and Josh, but thank you very much. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you. Moving right along to director's reports. We will start out with Minquist, but I think Minquist might be on a call.
Yes, you mentioned that we had CPR training yesterday or Wednesday and mentioned he had a conflict, but should have the report in the packet. There was nothing major for Minquist to report this evening was his feedback.
Excellent. Fire department, come on down.
Good evening.
Hello. Pat.
All right, it is on. All right, good evening, everyone.
Hey there.
It's finally warm and the Phillies won, so yeah, but we won't go there. Win's a win. Just want to start out with 2 milestones for this month. Jordan Dilks has achieved 4 years, and Hunter Sarmento has achieved 5 years with Thorndale. So
Great.
kudos to them. Only thing from the report that I kind of want to bring up that was kind of great news was the annual State Fire Commissioners Grant. We did receive a little over $15,500 to upgrade, again, 25, 30-year-old equipment. So as those prices continue to rapidly increase, we're gracious to receive the funds any way we can, whether it's through the state, the federal government, anything like that. Our generous residents and business owners, they've obviously helped tremendously in achieving and updating the much needed equipment for today. So happy to report that. As probably many people saw on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, and I hope I'm not stealing Director Stackhouse's thunder, but we did go down for final inspection to Florida to do on the demo pumper that was ordered in August. Everything looks great, and we're really eager to hopefully see it very soon here in Callan Township and get it in service and all the training and everything like that. So keep it short and sweet unless anybody has any questions.
When do you think it'll be here?
All right, I'm gonna have to turn the thunder back over to Ray. He's been in contact a little bit more with them.
He's up next, so we'll get.
So he has the answer hopefully for that,
Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you do out there.
of course. Thank you.
Yes, Ray.
Oh, I really
Building
am.
and
up
life
next,
safety.
I appreciate that. Commissioners, you have my report. Just a couple highlights real quick. DR Horton, I believe I mentioned last month, DR Horton is a builder that purchased the last, I would say, half of phase 3 and all of phase 4 of my place. They've actually started, we've issued building permits, so they're actually starting to build some of the townhomes up there. It is a very similar look. There might be some little nuances, but at this point they should be very similar. But they're owner occupied as opposed to rentals. So that would be the primary difference there. I'm sure everybody's happy to see that the farmhouse continues to move forward. We're actually reviewing resubmitted building plans. So I would think they would probably start, on the actual building here soon. So we're all looking forward to that, and I'm sure they are. Under emergency services, we completed a civil service testing. And actually, we're hoping on the next agenda, we'll have the certified list from the Civil Service Commission that we just did last week for the commissioners to approve so that we can make conditional offers. As the chief said, so the demo unit, we were down there, we had a punch list that wasn't anything major. The last communication I got, they were hoping that in the next 2 weeks that it would be driven back up to Pennsylvania. So that's my hope. I haven't heard anything, formally about when it's supposed to leave. The next step after that is we do another inspection, make sure nothing happened on the ride. The big deal, I'd be getting a check from Lisa and actually paying for the vehicle. And then it would come back to, oh, you weren't aware of that? No. And then it would come back to our station and we'd start doing our training and stuff like that. It is worth noting, and this is a very fluid situation. We've been having problems with our current engine. Some of that is not necessarily age, even though it is, it's about 8 years old, 11. So that we've had some issues recently. Some of that's due to the additional wear and tear from only having one truck, the increased call volume. But we just had some issues completely identified in the turbo and the actuator that runs the turbo is going bad. We're hoping that we can make this all work to get the turbo replaced. And we're not without an engine long. I'll have to borrow an engine again from another fire company. But the other side to that, it's a $12,000, $15,000 repair. But it's a repair. We don't have much of a choice. And it's not uncommon for that motor from that year. So it's not a real uncommon. It's just worse when you only have one fire truck. So So we are working with that actively right now. EMS, a draft report for the study. Actually, the working group received. We went over that last week, or I'm sorry, Monday. We're hoping to meet with the consultant, I believe, next week, and then the full municipal group, multi-municipal group, to discuss a rough draft of that, and then bring Minquist in to discuss that before it goes to each municipality. Training, we have 3 career staff that are in EMT class. So that EMT class should end, I believe, at the end of April. So that's a good thing. And public outreach and education, we had 2 events for a total of 27 staff trained in fire and life safety.
Thank you, Ray.
Yep.
Mr. Riley.
Hold on, I have a question for Ray. When the truck is picked up and returned back to its home here in Callan, livery is complete. You don't have to send it out someplace else to get radios and stickers, and
Oh, no, we have to do all that.
we have to do all that still.
So the radios get installed. For now, they'll still come to our station. We'll see. That's an ever moving target as well with the county. A lot of those things are changing, but we have to get those scheduled. The other thing is, as part of the cost of the truck, we build in costs to mount tools. We'll see what the lead time is. Glick, the people we're buying it from, we budgeted for them to do that mounting. But we're hearing the lead times potentially could be 4 months for that work to be done. So we're lucky these days. We have some career staff and some volunteers that are, we actually have a career staff that's a certified emergency vehicle tech. That has been a huge benefit to us. So we'll probably do some of the easy mounting ourselves. And then if it truly takes that long, we may have to contract with another company to do it, and then Glick would pay them because in essence, we're paying for the work.
Okay. Never easy.
It's never.
Mr. Riley, Public Work.
Good evening. Not much. We did have 5 after-hours calls due to snow, rain, wind. Hopefully that's done for. We don't get another blast. As far as
Stop
equipment,
tempting
we did have to purchase a new plow. We had one break and crack down the middle of one of our storms. And it would have cost just as much to repair it as it was to buy one. Doing all the roadside cleanups, swales, inlets, underpasses like normal. Turning the leaves, cleaning the parks, trash, stuff like that. Replacing signs, Black Horse Hill, North Callan, and all the other signs that get hit on a daily basis. We did take delivery on our new chipping truck, and once we get it lettered and striped, we'll have pictures for you. We can bring them in. Mailboxes, and we did finish all the chipping of the Christmas trees. We had 374 of them this year. But other than that, it's not much unless Mr. Huggins has something to say and he's online.
Johnny, Mr. Huggins.
I hear him
He got
trying to
a
talk. He's
speaker.
in the next office.
He got a speaker muted.
You can unmute.
Don't take the mask off, though.
I can hear him talking through the wall.
Talk a little louder.
Just open the door.
Oh, you gotta get a speaker. Yeah.
And thank you so much. I mean, really pulled us through some nasty storms this year, and hopefully we're not gonna have any more.
I hope not.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
I see that, like the street signs, the repair damage signs on Black Horse Hill and North Callan Road. What about the sign when you're coming in from Coatesville before you go over the bridge?
We actually have that. Somebody hit it. We have it down at our shop. We have to find somebody to actually build a new one. You can't just throw another one up. That's like a whole, they gotta mold it, build it, frame it, everything.
Do
And
you
I
know
think
who
Abby
hit
was
it?
actually looking into that one.
Do you know who hit it or just was
No,
just
It was
hit
just, we came in, it was laying on the ground, half of it was
Oh.
missing.
Okay.
Mr. Huggins.
Yes, sir. How's everyone doing?
Good to hear your voice. Everything good with you?
Everything's good. You know, get my test done every week and everything's coming back positive. So
All right.
I'm a happy camper. I just got to protect myself from all the viruses and stuff. So
Well,
doing good.
You make sure you do. We really like,
And, you know, Mr. Riley did a great job out here and all the
did.
roads, taking care of all the winter stuff and everything like that. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank him publicly. And yeah, he did a great job. So I wasn't worried. I just was trying to heal up and take care of myself.
we're really glad you took the time and again, we can't wait to have you back and Mr. Riley did a great job. Thank you.
Yes, I'm just in the other room, so. I hear you.
Hey, Johnny, he did a great job giving me an orientation drive through the township when I came on board. So nice truck too.
He learned, you know, I gotta say for Dwayne, you know, fairly new. He learned a lot about the township, the way it runs and what to do and what we take care of on a normal basis. So he did a great job.
He's pretty humble. He's like just looking down. So.
That's my buddy.
All righty. Thank you. Ingleside Golf Course. Oh, there you are. No, I saw you here. Nicole.
Good evening. February was snowy and we didn't have any golf, so 0 golfers for the month. That's not good, but we did do some merchandise sales, some membership sales, and we spent the month planning for the year, securing some fundraising events and planning those out, securing some high school seasons, summer camps and youth clinics. And a huge shout out to the maintenance staff at Ingleside. I asked them to do a lot more than they're used to this year, and they finished in February. They finished servicing every piece of equipment on property, sharpening every blade. They worked really hard despite the cold weather. So in a not heated building. So everyone worked pretty hard, but we did not. It was pretty slow, very slow.
Great chance to get caught up. Ready for the year.
I wanted to ask a question. Do we have any place on the golf course where we can have like a area for like children, like to do like family putt golf or anything?
So the practice greens, there's 2 practice greens that are designed for chipping and putting. And they are fully open to the public at any moment. Someone can come and putt around. We have a lot of kids that come out with their parents to just putt on the putting green. And then of course we have a driving range for practicing your full swings. So it's all very open to the public.
Okay. But you know how sometimes you see like the little Treasure Island, little beaches.
Sure,
kids
yeah.
Get to, run around in their own course.
If we had the space, I think that would be a fantastic idea.
We'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I advocate for children, so kids stuff.
Thank you, Jane, and thank you, Nicole. Community Enhancement Assistant Township Manager, Abby Swan.
Hi. So, I have pictures. February was a short month, but a very busy month. I think we've all heard about the super successful Carver Court exhibit opening event, thanks to Commissioner Kennedy. It was a hit. Lots of folks. The front office staff have reported that this exhibit has attracted more attention than any of our other amazing exhibits have so far. So it's definitely been very popular. We also had our first EAC event, which was a seating event. The slots filled up immediately. We ended up with about 50 signups. It was a very cold day, so Not everyone came, but those that did had a wonderful time. The idea of this, it's a great project because you get to reuse milk jugs before you recycle them. We're planting native seeds in them, and then people, once they sprout, are able to put them in their gardens for a very, very low cost. So it's a great way to get more native plants out in the community while we're using some trash. The February newsletter was dedicated primarily to finance things, as we usually do at that time of year. We talked about all of the amazing grants that we were happy to receive in the past year or so. I'm trying to pull some different statistics for the social media stuff, so it's not always the same. So this month thought it would be interesting to see, and I don't think this is surprising, but how people are watching our YouTube channel. Honestly, the 6% TV watching was kind of surprising to me. So kind of gives you an idea of where the folks are at. I always love to see which social media post did the best because it's never the ones I expect. Planetary alignment, huge. Who knew? People very interested about Ingleside hiring. Our pizza video from last year that you may remember came back and did well. So that was fun. Yeah, and then I know that in the past there have been questions about the current website. This is honestly as granular as the data gets from our current website. It's not great, but it is kind of interesting to just get an overview of which pages are the most often visited. So in February, understandably, Pay My Bills is at the top. Trash and recycling is always up there. Permits and applications, PD are always very popular. And then the newsletter on down. You can see the unique visits there. In terms of some other items, I think the board's aware about the North Callan Road cleanup that's coming up next week in conjunction with the Chester County Commissioners and the Chester County Litter Lifters. And then we have been really going to town on art in the park planning. Liz is focusing this year on Valley Run because it's so central to our community. And each week is going to be a different sort of level of stream life. And she's come up with projects all around that. And then the EAC is going to be attending some of those to do some science in the park along with the art in the park. So it should be really fun. And then finally, these are the 250 events for the year so far. We are really excited to have so many and such a variety of events that I think everyone should be able to find something that they're interested in. So that is what's going on there. And these are all on the website. We'll be advertising them basically everywhere. So hopefully soon enough, everyone will know what the opportunities are.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I have one. Abby, on the page with the letter here, you have a green box that says 43 new residents received welcome postcards in February.
Mhm.
Is that done monthly or is that like?
It is done monthly, yes. So the folks in Ray's office give us basically a list of all of the, I guess it's from the UNO list, right? From the new residential folks that have moved in, and they get a postcard with a QR code that takes them to our new resident page on the website, in which we've tried to kind of abbreviate what all the township provides in terms of services, contacts, et cetera. And they have the opportunity to sign up there for the monthly full newsletter.
So 43 new people moved into the township in January.
Probably January, yeah.
The other thing I want to just point out, and I will duck behind solid cover when I say this, Ray, just in case you didn't notice, permits and applications outclass the police department.
I got a side eye when that.
Okay.
That's unusual. That's not normally
Well,
the
the
case.
police are on there twice, so there could be an argument that numbers.
They have some sub pages, yeah.
I live in his shadow.
If I get pulled over tomorrow, we'll know why.
It was misclicks. It was definitely. Thank you so much, Abby.
Thanks.
Yes. And speaking of the police department, we will move on to our chief,
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
sir.
One milestone in February, Officer David Wardle, 24 years of service.
Wow.
Calls for service in February, 867. That brings the year-to-date total 1,870. That's up from 1,736 same period a year ago. Self-initiated calls in February, 2,396. Year-to-date, 5,056. That's almost 5 times the number from a year ago. That's business checks, park checks, bank checks. You could tell we're not responding to the intermediate unit 500 times a year, and that accounts for all of the proactive things that we're able to accomplish. Earlier this month, we announced our participation in the Blue Envelope program. I think we talked briefly about that before the start of the meeting. There's a Blue Envelope. It's a community-based initiative designed to improve interactions between law enforcement and drivers with autism, cognitive challenges, or communication impairments. Drivers keep their license, registration, and insurance card inside the envelope, which alerts officers to potential communication needs. Upon being pulled over, the driver presents the blue envelope, which serves as a communication tool. The outside of the envelope contains instructions for the officer to reduce potential anxiety, such as reducing lights or siren noise and providing clear, simple instructions. It's a nationwide program, and the number of success stories, as I'm sure you could imagine, are overwhelming. So, one last thing. On April 7th, we'll be doing another Coffee with a Cop and firefighters at the Giant. It's become a regular venue for this event. It's been highly successful.
What time will that be?
Back at it, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Excellent.
April 7th. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
No, when I first read about the Blue Envelope program, I was thrilled, and thank you for always having our police department at the front of
Thank you.
innovation. Finance Department. Very happy, Lisa Swan.
Thank you. Let me start off by saying that we're in a good position again for February. We have about 11% of our revenue collected and 16% of the expenses out there going on. March year to date, we are at 21% collected in revenue and 26% expended. And that's the usual scenario. The expenses usually shoot right up there just to try to get all of the equipment in, and ordered. So we're right on track with everything there. We have a very strong start with everything. I expect that to level off end of May, beginning of June, as far as the expenses go, probably until October, November, when the bills start coming in for road program, et cetera, and all the big projects. I do expect next April's meeting to knock your socks off with some good first quarter finance reports. So I look forward to that. Just a reminder that our annual tax bills did go out the weekend of March 1st. Take advantage of that discount period of 2%. That is through April 30th. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And
Thank you.
Does anyone have questions for Lisa? With that, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our directors. Please pass along to your staff. We know how busy we've been. We're in a moving forward period here, and everyone's really been burning the midnight oil for us. And we really, really appreciate everyone who works and is a part of this township. I don't know, Mr. Rose, you have a question?
Yes, good evening. Two questions, or comment and a question. I just want to express my thanks to all of our township first responders. Feel very safe in this township, and I appreciate all the work that they do. So, shout out to the police, fire, and our all of our first responders. Thank you. Second question for finance: what is the current balance in our reserve fund?
Sorry about that. I didn't have my mic turned on. Fund balance right now is still at about 3.5 million
Is that pre or post purchase of Buchanan's?
post.
So we had 4 million plus before the purchase of Buchanan's. Is that correct?
We had, yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And I can add to that, being that we had a strong first couple of weeks for the tax bills, where we got in just shy of $1 million collected from that tax bill. So that definitely added to the fund balance at this point too. So, thank you.
What is the, sorry, last question. What is the current policy for fund balance percentage of budget?
In the good zone is usually around anywhere from 10 to 15%. Right now, we're running at around between 27 to 30.
Okay, and last question. Where did that extra revenue come from the last year or two? Was that tax income revenue?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. One more
Yeah,
time.
where did the above policy fund balance come from over the last couple of years? Is that tax revenue?
Basically,
Is
just underspending, and we just got lucky with a good portion. I would say 98% of taxes were collected.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Lisa, and thank you, Vince. Moving along to the checklist. Has everyone had a chance to review the checklist? Questions, concerns? I will ask for a motion to approve checks 55567 through 55645.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Adam Thomas, seconded by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. We will move on to the township manager. And before you get rolling there, I wanted to ask you have we heard anything about the zoning?
Good evening, Commissioners, and yes, Mr. Vice President, we did actually receive word yesterday, late yesterday, that the county had completed its full 247 review for an updated zoning ordinance, and that they felt it was it met the Vision Partnership Program requirements and Landscapes 3, the county's comprehensive plan, and we are ready to move forward with the final adoption of the updated ordinance that took quite a long time to complete.
5 years. 5 years.
Thank you for your patience through this and everyone who worked on this task force, because, we could have settled, but we decided to really dig in and go for the best we could. And a lot of people committed a lot of time, a lot of brain power, and a lot of heart to this. So thank you so much.
Commissioners, just have a couple of items for consideration this evening, many of which you've had a chance to discuss in the workshop meeting earlier in the month. First up is the 2026 lawn maintenance program. This is the contracted mowing program for various locations around the township. We had a bid opening on March 20th, 2026 at 1:00 here in the township building. We had 2 bids, sealed bids dropped off for that bid opening. One was from HHF Lawn Care LLC. That is the company that we've had for several years, I believe. And a new company had dropped off a bid, Yellowstone Landscape. The HHF lawn care bid came in at 77,000, which is approximately about 8 to 10% above last year's bid. Yellowstone Landscape provided a bid of $67,820.76. Both bids did not include the Amtrak property, the Amtrak right-of-way mowing. However, following conversations, the rough cost associated with having that work done in-house is roughly $6,000 annually.
Mhm.
So it is not an insignificant portion of the bid that would be done in-house. And Public Works staff are certified in which to do that again this year. Unless there are any questions, I'm happy to field any questions on the bid documents that are before you. And we would just be looking for a consideration to adopt one of these companies to come in and start cutting grass as soon as it starts growing.
I know we go with the best bid. What do you know about Yellowstone? Are they from around here or?
They are not headquartered around here. The requirements as far as they met the bid requirements.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, if the board chooses to select Yellowstone, we would have to significant time meeting with them to walk through some of the more unique requirements of the township. I know that took several, times to get any company coming in there. They may not be familiar with the landscape and some of the unique characteristics of the land. So we would have to spend some time with a new company getting them up to speed, of course.
Excellent. I have full faith in you guys. Other board members have any thoughts?
Did our Public Works Director have a chance to review these contracts and what were their recommendations?
Director Huggins or?
Yep,
Yes.
I had take a look at them and, that we are used to HHF. That company came in pretty low, almost $10,000, and got to save the township money. So I think we should go with the lower bidder and see how they work out for us this year.
Excellent.
The recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Huggins.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to authorize the board vice president to sign a contract with Yellowstone Landscape as the lowest responsible bidder for 28 cuttings in the amount of $2,422.17 each, with an annual cost of $67,820.76 for the municipal property maintenance 2026 season. I apologize. Did we have any questions or comments from the gallery here or from the Zoom world? Yes, Mr. Rose.
Yes, quick question. Is there any reduction in scope over previous years for this price?
The only reduction about, I think it was a year or two ago, the Amtrak properties were included in the bid document. Those were removed. We left it in as an optional bid this year just to see what came back. The certifications associated with getting and being allowed to mow on Amtrak property, that is something that our public works staff have invested their time to achieve and did very successfully last year, maintain those properties. Other than that, it is the same as prior years.
So township employees will maintain the Amtrak property, is that correct? As
That is
previous year?
correct. Yes.
Great. They do a great job, so kudos to them. I just wanted to make clarification that they were still covering that property. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, hearing nothing, no other comments. Could I have a motion? I asked for the motion, but then I didn't.
Question?
Yeah.
I thought Mr. Huggins said that HHF was a recommendation that
No.
he had.
Mm-mm.
No, it wasn't that.
Yeah,
It was
It was
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone,
Yeah.
yeah. They're 10,000 cheaper. He said, let's give them a try, see what they do.
And HHF went up 10% from last year. They were $77,000 bid.
Okay. I thought he recommended HHF.
So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Adam Thomas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Township website provider.
Now, for this, I will defer to the Assistant Township Manager and Jessica, who've spent a great deal of time working on with various website developers to put together what's before you this evening.
I know we spoke quite a bit about this at the previous meeting. I'm happy to get into any details you like, but also happy not to, whatever you'd prefer. At this point, after lots of research and conversations, we've talked to a variety of other municipal staff, both nearby and around the country, honestly. Looked at 1,000 websites, I think, at this point. We would recommend Ingenious with the understanding that it is not, unfortunately, the least expensive option. But, we've shot off some questions to these guys. They're back at us within 5 minutes with some, I think, satisfying answers. If anybody has any additional questions, we understand that it's probably going to be a pretty long-term decision. And it's definitely an important one. So we want to make sure it has the appropriate amount of consideration. So I'd love to make sure that everybody is comfortable with that. But of course, we had 4 options and it's entirely up to you which you would prefer.
Commissioners, any questions?
Yes, I had a question earlier that I sent out to Abby and she got back to me, but my major concern was, especially with the question over what was the major difference between the one that everybody else, the web service that everybody else in the county uses, which is the same template, same format, versus the one we're going with. And one, ownership of the data was key. But then obviously the fact that Wellbridge is a national Everbridge, there we go, is a national app so that you could have these same emergency alerts going out that the county would have. So there's no loss of.
No, Everbridge is pretty much independent from the website, although after you asked your question, I did a little research and it looks like there is some potential for some kind of integration. They make a widget. I did not see that any of the other Chester County websites, including the Chester County website, were using that widget, but it's definitely something to look into. And being a WordPress site, I don't think there would be, and they did not think there would be any reason that they couldn't integrate that if we wanted to go that direction.
It is probably worth noting that now that you said that, the county has started moving away from Everbridge. As a matter of fact, we don't use Everbridge for our emergency management when we have storms and stuff anymore, or natural disasters. They do still use it as a platform for the Ready Chesco, but the county's not married to that, and we may see them moving away from that. Now there's other ones out there, obviously. But as Abby said, from what I know, those platforms are not independent, that they can't be integrated into anybody's website.
Okay, excellent.
Other questions from the board?
I have no questions. I'm just going to voice my opinion, and that is, having worked in other municipalities, I can tell you that I am in no way impressed with Granicus by any means necessary. So, Ingenious, I have no problem giving them a chance to prove themselves, see what we can get done there. The one that the county uses, yes, it may be common and typical for Chester County, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's what we want to do. So I'm of the opinion, let's go with what staff recommends. They're the ones doing the research. They're the ones that have to deal with it. And if they comes back and says, oh my God, then we adjust. But I'd rather go with something that works with what we're trying to do than though it's somebody else's, cookie cutter off the shelf system.
Mhm. I think one of the nice things about them that I don't know if I mentioned last time is that we're, at this point, we would just be signing on for the design phase.
Mhm.
With the rest of them, once you sign, you're locked in for
Mhm.
about 5 years. With these guys, if we spend our $9,000 and we like what they do, but we don't like working with them, we can literally take their product to someone else and have it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it seems like a pretty
Yeah, that's a perfect
High risk.
trial period operation. So yeah,
Mhm.
that seems reasonable. I like that.
And you said they're based out of South Carolina?
South Carolina. Yeah.
You get to volunteer to go down and
Train, yeah.
I don't think that'll be necessary, but I'm sure they would love
Sorry,
to
Ray.
join us at a future meeting. They were really excited about the prospect, I
you can
think,
have them
of
stop
working
on the
with
way
us.
up and take photos of the fire truck for us.
They can just bring the fire truck with them.
North Carolina, isn't it? It's South Carolina. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greenville, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions or comments from in the house? No, and I will ask the people out there in the Zoom land. It's not even Zoom, it's Teams land. If they have any questions.
Doesn't look like it.
Seeing none, I'll just do my way in here and say that, Abby, I know the level of research you did on this. And Jessica, I know you guys don't do things lightly and you understand the magnitude of a change like this. I also understand that, it's nice, you can look at this revise option at $19,900 and then, but you got to think how many years you've been pulling this thing together with gum and Band-Aids, and now Jessica as well. That's how much of your salary to do what you're supposed to be doing is going into fixing mistakes in a system that we've outgrown. The website is our most forward-facing thing that we have. And we want to be able to grab people like everything we're trying to do in this township and move forward. So thank you. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the Assistant Township Manager to sign a contract with Eugenius in the amount of $9,694 for website strategy and planning.
I moved.
Second.
Moved by Jane Kennedy, seconded by Adam Thomas. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Hey, let's go on to the street sweeping program.
Thank you, Commissioners. Several years back, we switched from contracting out to street sweeping to renting the sweeper for a period of 30 days and having staff run that vehicle. With the cost savings of, believe it was about $8,000 to $9,000. The rates here that we received the quotes, roughly the same as last year. I believe Stuart Amos equipment, that was the same cost as last year, if memory serves. The other Vortec Industries and US Municipal Supply were approximately 1,000 to 4,000 higher. This would be, if approved, this would be rented for the month of April. This is essentially in order to help get some of the post-winter, get the salt and everything else that accumulates over the winter months off the streets, keeps it out of the waterways, and cleans up the township. So it's a good program, and it was a good initiative by Public Works to, rather than having that service contracted out, to rent the vehicle and do it ourselves. So I know Dwayne and Director Huggins, if you have anything to add, if I'm missing anything.
No, I think you got it all covered. Yeah, it been working out real well. We, guys been running a street sweeper. We can take more pride in, township cleaning the roads and everything than past years. Got a lot of good feedback from the public from, what we was doing, going through the communities and making sure, it was done right. So, yeah, guys were doing good, and, I do like the program, and I thank you for letting us, take hold of that.
Man, is it good to hear your voice? I gotta say that again, Mr. Huggins. With that,
It's good to be heard.
yes. Any questions or concerns from the board members?
Let's get it done.
Anything from the public here? Anything from, there's Mr. Rose. Come on in.
Thank you. I just want to say I appreciate the cleanliness of the roads. It's very noticeable, and I just want to thank the crew for their efforts and the township support on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. And while we're talking about cleanliness, I'll add in that this is township cleanup weekend. Is everything full? All the slots full, Abby? Are they?
Never. No, we've got about 85 people signed up, so that's pretty good, but we have room for plenty more.
So if you're a fan of clean streets and clean township, get thee to the township website and sign up for a shift. I know a few of us will be out at the Park and Ride. Looking forward to that on Sunday. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the township manager to sign the street sweeping program contract with Stewart Amos Equipment Company in the amount of $9,945 for 30 days.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jane Kennedy, seconded by Adam Thomas. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Moving on, DARA intermunicipal agreement, 7th Amendment.
Thank you, Commissioners. This was discussed at the workshop meeting. This is an agreement as a member municipality with DARA to handle our wastewater. There's a sale of some of the capacity between East Callan Township and Euclid Township. As a condition of any sale of capacity within that municipal network, all member municipalities have to sign off, essentially saying they do not contest the sale. They do not require capacity. As was discussed at the workshop, DARA is in the midst of an expansion, and will we have additional capacity? Also, we are in a good position from the standpoint of capacity, as we have the option or the ability to send our wastewater to DARA or the Coatesville plant based on the pumping stations. So this has been heavily reviewed by and supported by Callan Township Municipal Authority, and it's ready for consideration for approval. Happy to answer any questions.
We've gone through this quite a bit, but I'll ask the board members if they have any questions.
Good.
None. Mr. Rose or anyone else in Teams land, do you have questions? Nope.
Has to be
And
done.
no one in house?
That's it.
All righty.
Hang on, before you do, on the record, I think we'd covered this in the work session, but we are nowhere near
Right.
we have enough EDUs, we have enough coverage for the development that should be coming and, plan for the future with
And that's
there as
good
a
to hear, I
year.
think, yeah.
EPMA does a wonderful job from a planning perspective to ensure, based on any potential developments or any opportunities that would come up, that we are covered for the foreseeable future and with the expansion well beyond.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, with that in mind, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the board president to sign the 7th Amendment to the intermunicipal agreement of December 27th, 1985.
So, second.
Jane Kennedy motion, Adam Thomas second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes.
Hands on that one.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Liquid Fuels Independent Bank Account.
Thank you, Commissioners. This also was discussed at the work session. There's a memo from Director Swan in your packet, but this came up in past audits, a recommendation that moved into a strong recommendation that liquid fuels accounts, which we receive from the state on an annual basis based on road mileage, should be in its own separate account, largely from an auditing perspective standpoint. We do a great job of keeping track of how those funds are spent, but from the auditors, the state auditors, it's much easier for them if it's all in one account. So for your consideration would be to authorize the township essentially to open up an additional account specifically reserved for liquid fuel funds that we receive from the Commonwealth. Director Swan, am I missing anything?
And just a reminder that having that separate account would also encourage us to invest that money and the funding that we get from the state. It would go into an obligate account with the interest rates kind of leveling off, but definitely much better than where we have it now. So plus for us.
It doesn't, having it in a better interest bearing account doesn't raise any issues with the state, right? Or-
They encourage it. They
Recommended it.
encourage it. Yeah, yeah.
Not doing it
They're
well.
recommending it, yeah. I'm sure that would help with the auditing as well.
Oh, yeah.
A big piece of
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I come from a field where commingling of funds is frowned upon heavily, so I get the
Yeah.
theory behind this, so.
Any other questions or comments from the board members? Anyone in-house? Anyone on Zoom? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve Finance Director Swan to open a separate liquid fuels independent bank account.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Adam Thomas, second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
aye.
Aye, passes 3-0. Minutes to approve. First, I would say with the February 26, 2026 minutes, I would like to table them. There was a comment from Mark DeYoung that is not in here, that was not in there. I hope we can find it and put it in. Is that possible?
We can certainly review the meeting video and identify that and include it.
Excellent. Do I need a vote to table that? I think I do,
Yes.
yes. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Adam Thomas, second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes. And I will ask, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our March 12th, 2026 meeting? Questions, concerns, changes? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, entertain a motion to approve March 12th, 2026 Board of Commissioners minutes.
so moved.
Moved by Jane Kennedy,
Second.
second by Adam Thomas. All in favor?
Say
Oh,
aye. Aye.
Aye. Passes
Yeah.
3-0. Acknowledge the receipt of the Planning Commission minutes. That's not a vote, right? Oh, yeah. I'll entertain a motion to acknowledge receipt of February 17th, 2026 Planning Commission minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Adam Thomas,
Second,
second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Additional business. None. We'll move on to public comment.
I have a public comment.
Yes.
And that is, congratulations to Abby and to Public Works, Dwayne. Coming back today from an appointment this morning, passed by Lloyd Park, and the crews were out there putting in the swings and the sets. They are, hard at work, and it was just, good to see again growth, change, progress in the township, and that our staffs are out there doing, remarkable work and remarkable leadership in the township behind the scenes as well. So thank you both very much.
Thanks.
Vince, come on in.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Two things. Has the suspect at the shooting at the lounge Sunday week and a half ago been apprehended, or are we still in search of him or her?
Not apprehended and still an active investigation. I can't
Okay.
comment any further on active investigations.
Understood. Thank you for the update, Chief. Appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, secondly, regarding the purchase of the lounge. As a former board member and resident of Calhoun Township for 28 years, I'm very skeptical and extremely disappointed in the board's action and staff involvement recommending to purchase the lounge dwelling and land. This is a nearly $1 million purchase. This is not a typical expenditure of a township, like a fire truck, which we know can cost over $1 million. Police vehicles, road crew equipment. This was not a budgeted item. This was a non-budgeted large dollar purchase. We decreased our reserve fund by 25%, given the latest update from our finance director this evening. 25%. The board has historically publicly discussed, debated large purchases as part of budgeted and non-budgeted items. No meeting minutes on this discussion have been posted to the public website that reference this purchase. This purchase warranted further public discussion, whether a separate public hearing or additional discussion in a Board of Commissioners scheduled meeting. I know all of you, and I hate to ask, but why this way? This seems secretive and non-transparent, which has never been the approach and posture of past boards and staff. We have not been presented a return on investment, business plan, and no explanation in public on such a non-essential and non-necessity purchase. This is not acceptable for me as a taxpayer and resident in this township for 28 years. I will continue to pursue answers and public transparency on this nearly $1 million non-budgeted transaction. Can someone on the board or the township manager provide myself and the public a business plan, return on investment, and other details on the purchase, and what and how the intent of such a large budgeted, non-budgeted purchase is justified?
Thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Rose. They are noted. We appreciate it. I will say this in closing before we go to adjournment, that the township is planning to, once Mr. Hashem is completely out of the building, we will be having a public meeting to discuss the future there. And I will close by saying this. This is a forward-thinking board. In the past, we did everything we could to keep it together. This board is looking to get more revenue into this township so that we don't end up in a position where we have to raise taxes. You noted the 27% drop in the fund, but we're still well over what we need. So again, I really appreciate your comments. We will be in, and if you want to talk with Don, I believe he was reaching out to you today. So, and with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Oh, no, Noel wants to come on now. Noel, come on in. Come on in, Noel. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There you are. Hi.
Okay, hi, everyone. Um, doo, doo, doo. I hear Vince's concerns. Okay, because I too am, you know, I've had a lot of involvement in the township and I love my township. I agree with being forward thinking, so thank you there. Something that caught my attention that I did not think of is there would be more, I think how it was worded, something on the lines of there'll be more discussion after Mr. Hashem is out of there. Is that how it was worded?
No, what I was, and if I worded incorrectly, I apologize. What I was saying was we will have a public meeting to discuss the future of it and our plans and invite people to present their ideas as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, that, I think that's a great idea. Again, I may be hearing it incorrectly. So they're still there. Is that what I'm
Yes.
understanding?
He has 30 to 60 days to completely remove everything from the building. I'll let Don take over now.
Okay,
Part of-
thanks.
Mr. Hashem, as a condition requested to have a little bit of extra time. He has identified another location to store his materials and just personal effects, but requested some time in order to get that ready. And it was provided 30 days with the possibility to extend the 60. So that 30-day period will expire at the end of April, and we'll see if he needs the additional 30 in order to completely move everything out. He has made significant headway on removing his personal items, so he's hoping to have it done well before then.
Okay, so at the end of like, say 60, then what?
Then it would be completely township property, which it is technically, but he would not have access to the property any longer, and the township would be, obviously with any personal items in there, we wouldn't want to move forward with anything, official. But once that 60-day period is over, we will be able to move forward.
Okay, my question just was, simply if after 60 days, say, there's items left there hypothetically, is that then, then does the township own that stuff?
Under the
Adam
terms
said
of
we would store him at Vince's house.
under the terms of the terms of the agreement, we would be neighborly, of course, and try to encourage him if we get close to that 60-day period and there's still anything remaining, we'd of course reach out and identify that. After the 60 days, technically that would be, it would be township, but we would work with him in order to, we're not trying to take anything from him, of course.
No, and no, I don't think that at all. I'm actually thinking the other way. I'm thinking when it's all said and done, will we be receiving, a decent building, like not a lot of stuff in it? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I'd say the stuff that's remaining is for restaurant use. So he is part of the agreement. He was maintaining everything from the kitchen infrastructure, the furniture, things of that sort. So that will remain. And
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, that is township. It's mostly, he had some artwork. He had his office space on the second floor. That was a lot of personal files and different personal furniture. That's the items that he'll be removing. The neons and other beer paraphernalia that he's been trying to sell some of that, I believe. But that's not included in the agreement. It's really the main furniture and restaurant equipment. So essentially it's a turnkey restaurant at that point. But anything personal is what I was referring to that he had brought in.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
No,
And
Thank you.
Noel, I'll add that, the historic, the beautiful pieces like the antique mirrors over the fireplaces and the transoms, stained glass transoms, they're all remaining. The fixtures, so thank you.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Can I just add too that, I think it was for us, it was a time sensitive matter. We either were gonna act or we were gonna lose. And what was the potential of someone from the outside coming into our township and we experiencing the same things that we're experiencing now? We have no control. It sits on the first hole of the golf course. There's property surrounded it that's an encumbrance to the golf course. So there were a lot of things that we had to take in consideration. And he was very desperate and eager to sell it, whether it was to us or somebody else. So yeah, it was kind of like a racehorse type thing. Nobody was not trying to be transparent, but in the best interest of the township, I think we made a very conscious decision as to how we wanted to maintain and secure the future development of Calhoun Township.
Thank you, Jane.
One thing to add, the first items that we're going to be taking care of is, of course, and Commissioner Kennedy referenced the first tee being on that property. One of the first items we will be doing is to clean up those easements and make sure the golf course is completely secure. If someone would have purchased that building, outside owner, that could have been a challenge with those easements. I know we discussed that at past meetings, but that's the first thing, working with Director Stackhouse. We will move that forward. So some consideration may come before the board in the near future for that change.
Come on back in one more time, Vince.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate the time for discussion. I really do. Couple quick follow-ups. Don, we officially own that building and property, correct? We already closed the sale and distributed funds to Mr. Hashem, correct? We own that building now. There's no
We do,
68 wait period. It's officially ours now, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Again, I don't know how we make $1 million investment on a property in which we have not shared with the public our return on investment, our business plan, our intent of use of that facility, whether it's a restaurant or something else. I feel like this is cart before the horse. Like, we buy it, then we figure out what to do with it. Noel, you're a real estate person. You know, you don't buy something without a plan and intent on use, particularly a taxpayer-funded purchase with no information. There is no purchase that requires the township to act quickly. A private business owner's emergency or urgency does not make for urgency on the township's side, particularly when you're dealing with thousands of residents' taxpayer dollars.
Thank you very much, Vince. Appreciate your comments are noted. Ms. Carini, would you like to come up?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Can I lead it? Okay.
Name and address, please.
Yeah, I'm 103 Airwood Drive in Downingtown.
Hold the microphone up.
103 Airwood Drive, Downingtown, Pennsylvania. I have a question actually for Lisa about the taxes. I ask this every year and I feel like I always have to. So let's just use a random number that somebody's taxes are $10,000 a year between the school and the municipality. What proportion of that are school taxes? So the majority of the taxes are being paid to the schools, right? Not really from the municipality. I'm not downplaying the fact that we have municipal taxes, but what I don't understand is, and I've only been living here for 10 years, but Why aren't people more outraged about that? If we're worried about an investment in this township that's going to bring us a return on our investment and give us places to go here, why aren't people more concerned about our school taxes? I really would challenge our residents to that, because what I see that has happened here in the 10 years that I've been here, what we have right now is a township that's primed to live in. We have healthcare, mainline health coming here. We have TMAC grant, Vision Zero, historic preservation, Farmhouse Coffee dumping millions of dollars in here, Tony from Pomodoro dumping about $3 million in here to have a business because they know people are moving west. I don't understand why people don't want to invest here. We can't do a lot about the school taxes, but the least we can do is give people a reason to want to live here, right? So why aren't people more outraged about the school situation and not so much about the municipal taxes? That I really don't understand. I just wanted to put that on record. I know I say it every year, but I want to be able to live, eat, get my shoes shined, get my dry cleaning done in Count Township. I don't want to have to go to Exton and Westchester to go to yoga. I want to, for what I pay to live here, I want to do things in this township. And I see that everybody here is trying to enable that to happen. And I object to anybody who wants to take us backwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With
Appreciate
that, I
your,
will
your
ask-
comment, Alicia. And as I said in my PowerPoint presentation, I took that from your comments last year, so I made sure that I put it in the 2026 presentation. And in pulling that up, an average estimate property, say 150,000, Callan Township estimated would be about $1,000 a tax bill. Chester County would be about $775, and then the school taxes would be around $6,600. So that shows you where all of that money goes.
It's, I don't know if we don't get together and do something about that, honestly, if we're going to use our energy somewhere. And the last thing I forgot, I want to congratulate everybody on something that is tremendous, which is the zoning. The rezoning of this township is unbelievable that this is happening. Okay, all the things that we've been fighting against, trying to stop this and trying to stop that, and this doesn't go here, and they're tearing down our nice old history. This is a big deal. All these things go unnoticed. I don't understand. I think you guys are doing a great job. And I want to say thanks. And I want to live here, but I want a reason to stay.
Yes.
Thank you, Alicia. I'll make my last comment that as long as charter schools keep draining the funds out of Coatesville area schools, we're gonna have a problem here because our school district is wonderful. It's got a bad rap and their funds are being taken by charter schools. With that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Adam Thomas, second by Jane Kennedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes aye. 3-0. Thank you so much, everyone.